Welcome to your Bonnie's post-game. Robert Barbieri, Nicholas Gallo, and we're back after a month-long break.
Yeah, man. It's like a snow globe outside, but hey, it's great to be back here at the Riley Center, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You know, the atmosphere from the get-go, it was really cool to, be home.
It was, yeah.
And even though the majority of the students weren't here, it was cool to have some students and some of the, the greater community here at the game. And
that's what makes this place so special and amazing, is that not only do the community come out, but, since there's this big snowstorm coming in, it's obviously a fact that the community members still come in no matter what. They'll get tow trucks, snow blowers, shovels, and anything they can get out of it to come to a good Bonnie's game. And it was a good game overall, but a close loss to them, 89-86. Dayton falls now 12-6 of the season, almost in the tougher half of the conference now. When the Bonnies fall 2-3 in the conference. I mean, Rob, what do you think about the team so far right now? I mean, like after this game, a tough battle. Courtney Soccer leading the way with 36 points. What are your thoughts of this game?
I think that we knew coming into this season that there's going to be there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. We had freshman players, not a lot of senior guys coming back. We missed a lot of points from Jalen and Mo, and we can't get those points anymore. We got to find another way to score, and that's kind of been the issue all year. You can stay consistent offensively. Defensively, I think that we've done a better job throughout the season, but offensively, there's some still not clicking. And Courtney coming, he was a little off for the past couple of games, dropping 36 tonight. Kyle Lofton had a decent game, but I'd like to see a little bit more from Kyle. I really would.
Yeah.
There were times where he was quiet almost on the
Of course, yeah.
And he's a freshman. He's still learning, but I think I'd like to see a little bit more from him.
There was definitely a lot of key moments where Kyle, I think, could have stepped up. Courtney just took over the game. You definitely can see and tell how Courtney was able to just take over some parts of the games and almost carried the team to the double overtimes and trying to push for another win for the Bonnies. But I mean, both teams in the beginning, when we saw this game coming in the beginning, there was no offense. Right. It was really bad. The Bonnies actually made a great run, scoring buckets and shutting down the defense after the Ashun block. Right. You could see and tell. You could just see how big of a factor it was where Ashun was just able to shut things down.
I think the big move over the past, 3 games or so is starting Shun over Madi. I think that's helped the offense.
The Shun and Ladarian combination, I think, is great.
Right,
length, athleticism, and rebounding.
Right. I think Shun is another freshman that along with Kyle, they'll start leading the charge here. I mean, they're already staples in the offense and they're staples on the team. And I think the increased role from Shun will help the offense only flow a little bit more, and even going forward. I mean, there's still a lot of conference play left. The season isn't done. They don't write out the Bonnies, but I think at some point within the next couple of games, something has to change offensively.
What do you think about?
Has to step up.
So, what do you think about? You have the 2 freshmen. What about Dom? We haven't. Obviously, he's been hurt for the majority of the season, and this was kind of a game where I think we needed him more at the end, or not at the end, but during the game. What are your thoughts about Dominic Walsh also needing to, I think, step up? Because, I mean, it's a stretch when I say step up, because he's a freshman guard coming off, a really tough injury, trying to get his rhythm back and everything like that. Those things take time as a player and take time, especially at a Division I level.
And I think you said it yourself. With Dom Welch, it'll take time for him to mold and grow into the player that I think we all know he can become. I mean, he's a great 3-point shooter. It might not show right now statistically, but I think that with time and patience, Dom Welch will become a
Because if you think about it, you have 2 guys that we're already seeing as players that we're, I want to say, over-expectating, but we're seeing them grow more, and we could see it in our very eyes.
I mean, you look at Kyle Lofton, he played all 50 minutes in this
50
game.
minutes?
He did not get subbed out at all. And for a freshman guard to be playing 50 minutes at the Division I level is tremendous.
Especially, it definitely affects the body. And I mean, we've been seeing that throughout the whole entire season with Nelson also being in and out. But I agree. I personally still think that Dom hopefully needs to get to that point where, because not only is he a great 3-point shooter, he's known as being one of the leading scorers in Western New York history. So we all know this. he can score the ball. He can put the ball in the bucket.
You just got to take some time and just be patient with Dom. I think with practice and a good. We still have a lot more time left, so I think patience with Dom is key.
Now, what do you think was maybe a turning point during this game? Obviously, there was a lot. Both teams were just battling, I think. At the halftime stat sheet, you saw that even though we thought it was a really defensive game, you see that both teams were actually shooting efficiently. Both teams, Dayton was turning the ball over a lot. And I say that our defense is actually better than our offense, 100%.
Right.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I think, when, like I said before, offensively we've struggled a lot this year. Defensively, we've picked it up as the season has
As a
progressed.
team defense, we are really, I think, connected.
And I think the main part, the main, the turning point of the game was when Shun fouled out.
I agree.
He adds electricity to the defense and the offense. He fires the team up, and I think having him out really was a big blow to the team.
Yeah.
I think down the stretch, especially in the late second half, and going into the overtimes, we would have needed him.
Yeah, I think there would be a totally different game if Shu was in the double overtimes in each overtime.
I agree.
And not that Amani didn't do well. Amani did what he could, but again, even Dayton, they had a couple of guys that they had one, the Scrutter guy. He was taking us in the whole time, wheeling and dealing, driving and passing and making plays. And when he fouled out of the game, they had to find another guy, and they did in Davis, making that big clutch shot at the end, right on this 3-point line up around here. That also was almost like a nail in the coffin, saying that we got it. And then, you also had that last chance right there with Darian with the one-footer free. Right. But obviously, those shots are tough to make. It's a tough shot to make.
Obviously, these are the games that you want to win as a team. These gritty games, these hard-working games. And if you don't win those games, it could hurt your confidence a little bit.
What do you think now, being 2-3 in the conference? What do you think the team's feelings are right now? Do you think there's a sense of urgency? Do you think that, obviously we're looking at two very different teams. From one team making it to the NCAA tournament, one now. We have no clue what is going to happen. But right now, it doesn't look very good.
I think, obviously every game you want to go out there and win. And I think the Bonnies do a good job of preparing for it every week. I think defensively, like I said, we've gone stronger. It's just offense has been the problem. And if Shun can stay in the game, I think we can go far as the conference games go on. And I wouldn't write out the Bonnies yet. I think there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and I wouldn't write us out.
Just want to add one point that answer even my own question, but I agree with you that I think you shouldn't write out the Bonnies, because I think the teams also inside the A10 is wide open this year. There's not. I don't think there's a definite dominant team in the A10. Right. I think there's a lot of great teams, but there's not a dominant team.
Right, like last year, you had URI.
You had
St. Bonaventure.
USA Bonnies, and then even Davidson. Yeah.
Davidson was there.
Davidson is, I think, still this year, even though they did lose the recent game to St. Joe's recently this past weekend. Right. But I still think I think there's still a lot of game left as we entered near the end of January and into February, where the games are now going to be risen up to the occasion, saying that it's March Madness time, and I love those two words. It's like Thanksgiving and turkey and a cranberry sauce, man. They just sound and taste so good together.
Right. Yeah. And the next time the Bonnies will be back is February 1st. I'm happy that we're back. We're doing this.
I'm so excited that we're back. Stay warm, everybody.
Stay warm. Obviously, stay safe. And we'll see you guys in the Riley Center February 1st against Davidson. Be there.
Have a good one, guys.